love going out to the minidisc player, if you remember those, and the minidisc, of course. Yeah. I am no DJ yet. I am the Lord of the Loop, the Baron of the Blend. And if you dig LALAH Hathaway, you can certainly be my friend. Sister been on the scene doing that thing for quite some time. And I must say, she has definitely taken the baton from her pops, and I'm sure she has made him very proud. But anyway, the joint that we're talking about is my favorite probably from her. There's a couple of them, but I would say this is maybe my favorite. And this is going to be Self-Portrait. Came out in 2008 on staxrecords. This is when staxrecords was trying to make a re-emergence. I believe they were, at this time, they were a subsidiary of, it was a jazz label. I cannot remember the name of it. It'll hit me in a hot second. But anyway, of course, she hails from soul royalty, Chicago. Stand up. Of course, her father is no slouch, but nor is mom. She was classically trained. So peace and love goes out to moms as well. And I want to say, and I would have to ask her, or maybe someone can help me on this, I believe she's a junior because she is named after her mother. Yeah, I got to get confirmation on that. Multi-Grammy award-winning recording artist. However, not for this particular project. It was for her live performance that she did in the same spot where her pops performed. That's a beautiful thing. And she was well known during that neo-soul movement, and I don't know what the hell happened, but it's almost like they just shut that thing down overnight. So, you know, all the heavyweights at that time, they just went away like poof, you know. Anyway, I digress. And there's something about this sister, man, and she got that voice now. She got that voice where she can simultaneously do this thing where it sounds like it's a couple of folks singing. And I want to say, if you go on YouTube, somebody's interviewing her and she's doing that, you know? But regardless of if doing that or not, that voice is something else. And again, she ain't get no Grammy for this thing, but she definitely got a goddammy for that. Much love on this project here. Again, Self-Portrait is the bomb. The singles off of this was Let Go, which that was the joint that I really wanted to rock on the third turntable, but I'm just running my mouth a little bit on this one, all right? And that was Then, which was a nice joint as well. My favorites off of it, man, Naked Truth is a killer. That was Then is dope. This joint to my back over here on turntable 1. And let me not mess it up. This is a tongue twister for me. So Tragic Inevitability. Yeah, here we go. On turntable 1. On the other joint over here on turntable 3 that I'm mixing in, that's going to be 1 Mile. That's the beat we got, all right? Check it out. Yeah. Again, I'm the Lord of the Loop, baby. Come on. And just so you know, there is no beat matching, there's no beat syncing. All this is just me, and that's the beauty of creativity. Hence, this moment is about my girl, which has created a whole bunch of beautiful stuff. For Always was a nice track, and Little Girl to me is so dope. Again, there's so much of this thing that's funky as hell, and I would love to see her and Frank do something, but I'll get to that a little bit later on. Producers on here were Rex Ride Out, Terrace Martin. That cat been putting in that work for a while now. Unbelievable. Kenneth Crouch, and there are others on here. So, and let me say this, y'all. When it comes to some of the latter production or latter projects, let's say in the 2000s, There were way more musicians and artists and studios and everybody involved. So if you will, please forgive me for some of the people that may have been omitted. I still appreciate and will forever acknowledge you, but there just was not enough time and room to put everybody on here, all right? But of the ones I can mention, of course, Marcus Miller doing that thing on that bass on the track. Melvin Davis, of those that may not be familiar, he's a badass bass player, and he did some stuff with O'Brien back in the day. John Jubu Smith on guitar on some of this stuff, well known for coming out of the Tony camp. Lenny Castro, percussionist extraordinaire. His resume is way too lengthy to mention. Then we also have my man Boki Loke that did the rap on 1 Mile. And he is the brother of CPO. If you remember Lil Nation in CPO, MC Ren Stand Up, that was his project. But anyway, that's his brother doing that thing. Background vocals, of course, Rasan Patterson and my sister Sandra St. Victor. Yeah. Brandon Fields on the sax on here. Peace and love goes out to that dude that's been on the contemporary smooth jazz scene for a long time. I remember him, the first project I remember him on was Russ Freeman's Nocturnal Playground. So he has been on the scene for quite some time. And again, kudos to all the numerous other musicians and additional studio support, for there was way too many to mention. Mastered by Herb Pump Powers. Art direction, Matt Taylor. Photography, Jonathan Mannion. And again, y'all, it's always about giving love to everybody that's in the process. So even when you see the self-portrait, when you see that cover, you be like, okay, yeah, I got that release. But it's all impactful, just like the cover to an Ohio Players album. You know what I'm talking about. This is available on all major streaming platforms, in addition to CD, physical copy, but just CD only. No LPs on this that I'm familiar with. All right. This reached number 6 on the Billboard R&B charts, the album charts, that is, surprisingly. And I'm glad to see that, because it just didn't seem like she got a lot of burn on the radio. But I'm glad she just has a loyal following, hence her still doing her thing to this day. She has won a couple of Grammys for her live stuff, but I don't think she has gotten anything for any of her studio performances. And please check that sister out. Where It All Begins was dope. The Joker, when she first came on the scene, where Gary Taylor did some writing on there. The second joint she did, where Chucky Booker did some writing on there. And what else? Oh man, and what's the one where they messed up the cover on her? Shame on them for that. Outrun the Sky. Boston's a dope ass track on there. But I digressed a little bit. But nevertheless, somebody please contact this sister and tell her to do something with Frank McComb. Quick story. Layla's sister, and this was a while back, I had known of Frank McComb because he had done something on a soundtrack. I want to say it was the Meteor Man soundtrack, I do believe. But Layla's younger sister told me to check out Frank McComb, and I must say that cat is very reminiscent of their father. So I would love to see them get together and just burn and do something, and not back together again. We don't need no remakes, just something that's dope together. You know what I'm saying? And on a side and closing note, if you can have access to it, she did a badass interlude with Marcus Miller on that Ladies Man soundtrack, and it's called All This Time. Beautiful, beautiful track. If you get a chance, peep that, all right? Be sure to follow my sister on lalahhathaway.com, on Instagram with her name, Lalah Hathaway, as well as Facebook. Respect to all the rhythmic residue that gets left behind. And again, this is certainly some residue that needs to stay about the area for quite some time. Support support all of our heroes out here trying to keep this thing alive and, just keep the sonic experience going. All right. And in closing, much love again to the minidisc and the minidisc players that brought us much joy. Of course, subscribe, like, comment, share, follow, everything about this so we can just keep it going for ourselves as well. In closing, my name is Art Appreciation. For that's who I am and that's what I do. That's why you hear this mix in the background and I'm talking and doing this thing at the same time. All right. Respect the rhythm and rock on.